Hey Theo, it's Andrea again from AZ.
This is Andrea from Arizona, and unfortunately, I don't know if I remember the first time you called, Andrea, but thank you for calling back. More?
From Arizona. Um, but I also have another question.
Well, you got to ask a first question before you ask a second one. I don't know how much gasoline you're gonna get. Let's go. More?
What type of girl do you like? Do you like? I imagine you like them all shapes and colors, but what type of personality do you like in a girl? Do you like her to be funny like you, or docile and quiet? I appreciate you again, and bye.
Thank you for calling, Andrea. I appreciate you as well. Do I like them docile? I mean, I don't like them under the influence of, Quaaludes or anything like that. I don't want a girl that you have to, when you get home, you got to take her out of the trunk and bring her in the house. So I like a girl, I don't mind a pigtail. I don't mind two pigtails. I remember this one girl only had one pigtail in my neighborhood because they only had one barrette at her house. And her and her sister got a set of barrettes for Christmas, but the set only come with two barrettes. And so they each got to use one. So they running around each looking like, half a Wendy's logo, because each one of them had that just one, that one that one braid riding out, like a diving board that was, taking the afternoon off, just kind of hanging off that side, ganging out. So I don't mind a little bit of braids. I like a hard-working woman. I don't want any of these. I don't need. I need a teammate. I need a partner in crime. I like a woman that knows that life is hard work. I like a woman, for me, I think that has some semblance of idea or thoughts of there being some sort of a higher power. That doesn't have to be. They don't need to believe in Jesus Christ. They don't need to believe in, Muhammad or a specific deity or a specific liaison to a religion. But I need them to, I want them to believe that there's something greater out there than us. You know what I'm saying? I ain't freaking I ain't carrying around no atheist. I just can't, because for me that doesn't work. For some people it may, and that's okay if it works for you. But I don't want somebody, where every other day feels like Halloween around the house because they dark art. What else do I like? I dated a girl with a real small head one time. I wouldn't mind more of like a regular headed woman. I dated a girl who had this little pin top. Sometime when I was making out with her, I could kiss her and my hands would touch under her chin and on the top of her head at the same time. And she was an adult, obviously. But I remember just like, dang, she got that cabbage ball. And I started thinking, how many ideas could she even have in this hitter, on top of her neck? I was always scared somebody with a T-ball bat was just going to roll up and just, try to knock a double. Because she had that little baby, mediocre sphere. But she was a beautiful girl. I mean, I think she was she might have been the prettiest girl in New Orleans, but but who knows, man? Do I like, I like a woman that's a hard worker. I like a woman that's a hard worker. And I want a woman that can be a mother. I don't want one of these whiny ass ladies talking about, preaching all the time about, motherhood and this and that when they don't even have any children. I want a woman who doesn't mind having some children, and who doesn't mind having some children with me. I'm not looking for some housewife. My wife can have a job. My wife can be a CEO. My wife can be president of the United States. That's fine with me. But I would hope that if we can have children, that we have them. So that's something. What kind of ladies I like if I'm just thinking about being randy, I like, I remember when I was young, I dated, I like that kind of Native American looking type. Kind of girl, like if you saw her, if you walked by and she was wearing a little bit of, if you peeped in time, if you were peeking in her windows and she didn't know you were there, she might have had on those, that buffalo skin brassiere. Or she might have had a couple of duck uteruses kind of woven in with some vine and holding up her breasts. Just some lady that's really of the earth. That Native American kind of girl. If you're peeking in her window at night, you wouldn't be surprised if her dad freaking dropped that arrow right by your ear. Parted your hair, just whoosh, and not to look at his daughter get, change clothes and stuff at night, even though you guys are in love with each other. So I think I had that kind of Pocahontas sort of thing that I kind of always maybe envisioned. And my mother, they say that you're attracted to some characteristics that your mother has. And my mother was kind of tall, dark, and handsome, I guess, in a way, but in a female way. My mother's a hard worker. The hardest working man I've ever known is my mother. And so I really admire that. I need, because I need a teammate, and I'm a lot to deal with. I know that. I'm really sensitive. I'm a sensitive person. And I get better at managing my sensitivity, but I need somebody who's got that, so, who's able to deal with that. So, but also, I think it changes over time. And some things I start to see. One good thing about being, single as you get older and being able to kind of see how relationships shake out and stuff is that you notice like, oh, I'm glad I didn't go with that one, or I'm glad I didn't go with that one, or that I didn't go, but I'm glad that situation didn't work out, or that situation didn't work out because of this or because of that. You start to see like, oh, I see how that person goes that way, or how that type of person goes that way. You just get more view. So that's one thing that is kind of rewarding about being single as I get older, is being able to get a larger view of what's going on. But I've been fortunate enough to date some neat gals. I hope I haven't in my life. I don't know if I've ever mistreated any women or done anything like that. I think I've been afraid of commitment and those sorts of things, and so that probably hadn't been very helpful to some women. But those are some things that I like. And for me, if a woman's funny, that's beautiful to me. If a woman likes to play board games sometimes in the evening or in the afternoon, then I like that. I like a girl that doesn't mind, maybe doing like a silly dance or something, or doesn't mind like, looking silly sometimes. Because those things inspire me. I'm always so afraid to like, it's kind of weird. I'm afraid to look silly. Like, I'm not afraid to tell jokes and say things that are silly, but I'm afraid physically sometimes to look silly. And so if there's a girl that kind of is comfortable with those sorts of things, then that makes me feel, I admire that, because I wish I could be that way. And then somebody that's understanding. I mean, fuck, I think I'm just describing things we all want. But that's some of my ideas, Andrea, and you sound like a beautiful young lady. And if I don't have somebody, or if you don't have somebody, then at the very least, we can still treat ourselves with romance. So once you get out there and put some put some of that tzatziki on your thighs, and treat yourself right. Light a candle and pour some wax on your neck or something. Or dip your shoulders in chocolate and lick it off. Do that side to side, That freaking nervous, with that nervous tongue, just hunting your freaking clavicle, hunting along your clavicle with that nervous tongue, just back and forth, just getting your own chocolate hits. Some beauty right there.